defining moment for our planet. Climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution continue to impact communities, economies, and ecosystems around the world. For more than 30 years, the Global Environment Facility has supported countries in protecting nature and addressing global environmental challenges. Around the world, the GEF unites 186 countries and has mobilized billions of dollars for environmental action. In Central Asia, a new era of environmental cooperation is emerging. The region is establishing itself as a regional hub for environmental diplomacy. At the same time, Central Asia is becoming an environmental science and education hub. Countries across the region are working together on water security, land restoration, clean air, and climate resilience. Uzbekistan is playing an important role in this transformation, from restoration efforts in the Aral Sea region to investments in green infrastructure and sustainable agriculture. The country is advancing practical solutions that connect environmental protection with economic development. These efforts reflect the mission of the GEF, turning global partnership into local action. Today, in Samarkand, leaders, experts, and partners from around the world have gathered for the 8th GEF Assembly. This assembly is a platform for cooperation, shared responsibility, and practical action for a more sustainable future. Welcome to Samarkand. Welcome to the 8th GEF Assembly.
Distinguished guests, to deliver an address by His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev, President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, to the participants of the 8th Assembly of the Global Environment Facility, we kindly invite to the stage Her Excellency Saida Mirziyoyeva, Head of the Administration of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan.
Thank you very much. Hurmatli delegatsiya rahbarlari, hurmatli assambleya ishtirokchilari, xonimlar va janoblar. Sizlarni asrlar davomida Sharq va G'arbni, turli madaniyat va sivilizatsiyalarni, ilm-fan va amaliy bilimlarni bog'lab kelgan qadimiy Samarqand shahrida samimiy qutlash biz uchun ulkan sharafdir. Bugungi yig'ilish 5-iyun butun jahon atrof muhit kuni arafasida o'tayotgani alohida ramziy ma'noga ega. Shu munosabat bilan anjuman ishtirokchilarini ushbu muhim sana bilan chin dildan tabriklayman. Barchangiz yaxshi xabardorsiz. Bugungi kunda insoniyat misli ko'rilmagan inqirozlar, iqlim o'zgarishi, biologik xilma-xillikning yo'qolib borishi, atrof muhit ifloslanishi kabi tahdidlarga duch kelmoqda. Bu kabi muammolarni hal etishda global ekologik jamg'arma alohida o'rin egallab kelmoqda. 186 ta davlatni birlashtirgan ushbu noyob global hamkorlik platformasi hozirga qadar 170 milliard AQSh dollaridan ziyod mablag'ni ekologik loyihalar uchun safarbar etgani tahsinga sazovordir. Ming afsuski, iqlim o'zgarishi oqibatida yuzaga kelgan cho'llanish, yer degradatsiyasi, muzliklarning erishi va suv tanqisligi Markaziy Osiyo uchun asosiy tahdid bo'lib qolmoqda. Jahon banki tahliliga ko'ra, mintaqamizda qariyb 37 million kishi suv tanqisligi kuchli bo'lgan hududlarda yashamoqda va 2050-yilga borib bu ko'rsatkich 75 millionga yetishi mumkin. Hurmatli anjuman ishtirokchilari, Yangi O'zbekiston mavjud muammolar ko'lamiga qaramay, ekologik transformatsiyani yangi taraqqiyot modeli sifatida ko'rmoqda. Shu bois bir tizimli loyiha boshqaruviga o'tib, atmosfera havosini muhofaza qilish, bioxilma-xillik, chiqindilarni boshqarish, ko'kalamzorlashtirish, ekologik ta'lim va madaniyatni qamrab olgan 5 ta milliy loyihani amalga oshirmoqdamiz. Mazkur tashabbuslar doirasida 2030-yilga qadar muhofaza etiladigan tabiiy hududlar maydonini respublika hududining 21% gacha kengaytirish, havoga zararli tashlanmalarni 10,5% ga qisqartirish, hamda har bir hududda dendrologiya va botanika bog'larini tashkil etish rejalashtirilgan. Chiqindilardan energiya ishlab chiqarish bo'yicha joriy yilda 2 ta, kelgusi 2 yilda yana 9 ta zavodni ishga tushirish belgilangan. Ular yiliga 5,5 million tonna chiqindini qayta ishlash orqali 1,1 million tonna issiqxona gazlari tashlanmalarini qisqartirishga yordam beradi. Mamlakatimizda ekologik ta'lim va ilm-fanning yagona ekotizimi shakllantirilib, Green University negizida 10 ta ilmiy tadqiqot instituti va markaz hamda 14 ta yashil texnikum birlashtirildi. Qariyb 2 million yoshning ekologik savodxonligini oshirish jarayoni boshlab yuborildi. Biz o'tgan asrda yuz bergan Orol fojiasiga yangicha yondalashib, uning oqibatlarini bartaraf etish, Orol bo'yi hududini tiklanish, ilm-fan va innovatsiyalar maydoniga aylantirish yo'lida 2 million gektardan ortiq unumdorligini yo'qotgan yerlarni qayta tiklamoqdamiz. Mintaqaviy sa'y-harakatlarni birlashtirish va amaliy yechimlarni joriy etish maqsadida Eco Expo Central Asia platformasi yo'lga qo'yildi. U hududlar va sanoatdagi ekologik muammolarni hal etishga qaratilgan loyihalarga moliyaviy resurslar va yashil yechimlarni jalb etishga xizmat qiladi. Fursatdan foydalanib, sizlarni tashkil etilgan ko'rgazmaga taklif qilaman. Yashil loyihalarimiz manfaatli kelishuvlarga asos bo'ladi degan umiddamiz. Qadrli do'stlar, albatta, iqlim o'zgarishining tobora kuchayib borayotgan salbiy ta'siri bizdan tezkor amaliy qadamlarni talab qilmoqda. Assambleya doirasida bir qator tashabbuslarni ilgari surmoqchimiz va ularni hayotga tatbiq etishda sizlarning qo'llab-quvvatlashingiz biz uchun muhim ahamiyatga ega. Birinchidan, Samarqandni Markaziy Osiyoning yashil investitsiyalar va innovatsiyalar poytaxti deb e'lon qilishni taklif etamiz. Rahmat. Biz Samarqandni mintaqaviy yashil iqtisodiyot, barqaror rivojlanish va iqlim moliyasi markaziga aylantirishni, shaharni pilot yashil hudud sifatida rivojlantirishni hamda ushbu tajribani keyinchalik respublikaning boshqa shaharlariga ham tatbiq etishni maqsad qilganmiz. Ikkinchidan, bundan 600 yil muqaddam Mirzo Ulug'bek Samarqandni ilm-fan markaziga aylantirgan bo'lsa, bugungi kunda Kolumbiya universitetining barqaror rivojlanish markazi hamkorligida Markaziy Osiyo atrof muhit va iqlim o'zgarishini o'rganish universiteti qoshida Ulug'bek nomidagi barqaror rivojlanish ilmiy tadqiqot instituti tashkil etilmoqda. Institut hududlar va iqtisodiyot tarmoqlarini yashil va barqaror rivojlanish asosida transformatsiya qilish, xalqaro ilmiy markazlar va moliya institutlarini jalb etish bo'yicha yetakchi ilmiy tahliliy platforma bo'ladi. Uning strategik boshqaruvi esa Prezident huzuridagi vasiylik kengashi orqali amalga oshiriladi. Uchinchidan, iqlim o'zgarishining salbiy oqibatlariga qarshi samarali yechimlar ishlab chiqish maqsadida iqlim o'zgarishi va gidrometeorologiya milliy markaz tashkil etilmoqda. Markaz gidrometeorologiya, erta ogohlantirish, glatsiologiya, iqlim ta'sirini baholash va issiqxona gazlari monitoringini uyg'unlashtirib, iqlim prognozlari, modellashtirish, moslashuv va mitigatsiya dasturlari, mintaqaviy hamkorlik hamda butun jahon meteorologiya tashkilotining global atmosferani kuzatish dasturi va NASA Aeronet dasturlarida ishtirok etish uchun institutsional zamin yaratadi. 4-dan, yaqinda Qozog'iston prezidenti bilan toza havo davlatlararo konsorsiumini tashkil etish bo'yicha kelishuvga erishdik. Uning faoliyati yashil moliyani jalb etish, o'rmon melioratsiya, ilmiy tadqiqotlar, sanoatni ekologik modernizatsiya qilish hamda monitoring va nazoratni kuchaytirishga qaratilgan. Mintaqaning barcha davlatlarini konsorsium faoliyatiga qo'shilishiga taklif etamiz. 5-dan, cho'llanishga qarshi kurash instituti negizida orol bo'yida cho'llanish oqibatlarini yumshatish, yashil qanqonlar barpo etish va iqlim moslashuviga qaratilgan cho'l iqtisodiyoti tashabbusini ilgari surib, uni global ekologik jamg'armaning ustuvor yo'nalishlaridan biri bilan hamohang holda xalqaro moliyaviy hamda texnik ko'mak asosida amalga oshirishni taklif etamiz. 6-dan, 2027-yilgi Toshkent investitsiya forumi barqaror rivojlanish va yashil investitsiyalar mavzusida o'tkazilib, uning doirasida Eco Expo Central Asia xalqaro ko'rgazmasi tashkil etiladi. Forumda har bir hudud yashil investitsiyalarni jalb qilish uchun kamida 100 ta istiqbolli loyihani tayyorlab, investorlarga taqdim etadi. Yana bir muhim tashabbusni e'lon qilmoqchiman. O'zbekiston global ekologik jamg'arma donor mamlakatlari qatoriga qo'shilishiga tayyor. Biz jamg'arma kengashi a'zosi sifatida qo'shma mintaqaviy tashabbuslarni amaliy qo'llab-quvvatlash va hamkorlikni kengaytirishni maqsad qilganmiz. Bugun o'z ishini boshlayotgan assambleya ekologik hamkorlikning yangi mintaqaviy arxitekturasini shakllantirishda muhim maydonga aylanishiga qat'iy ishonaman. Anjuman ishiga ulkan muvaffaqiyatlar, barchangizga yangi yutuqlar va omad, oilaviy baxt, saodat va farovonlik tilayman. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, O'zbekiston Respublikasi Prezidenti. Rahmat.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It is now my distinct honor to invite Her Excellency Inger Andersen, United Nations Under-Secretary General and Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, to take the floor on behalf of GEF agencies.
Your Excellency, Ms. Saida Mirziyoyeva, Head of Administration of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan. My dear friend Claude Gaston, Interim CEO and Chairperson of the Global Environment Facility. Ministers, friends, partners. It's just under 35 years ago, in 1991, that the Global Environment Facility was born. I was a young person and was part of that journey. I have to admit, there's still a few in the audience who are still part of that journey. Established as a pilot phase ahead of the Rio Summit, the GEF was created from a simple but powerful recognition. There were rising environmental challenges that transcended national borders, and countries needed support to manage these threats locally while delivering environmental benefits globally. So established since then, the GEF has delivered solution after solution. Solutions that reach communities, protect nature, tackle pollution, underwrite resilience, and in turn, help governments deliver on their global commitments through local, regional, and national action, while also delivering for their communities. But as always, it was clear that such action must be anchored in science. The Scientific and Technical Advisory Panel, STAP, the advisory body to the GEF that UNEP is proud to host, has been the scientific foundation that builds on the global science policy panels and beyond, including the IPCC, which of course is hosted by ourselves and WMO, the primary host, the Intergovernmental Science Policy Panel for Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, IPBES, which is hosted by us, and the recently established Intergovernmental Science Policy Panel for Chemicals. That foundation of science has always been critical to the GEF. This science continues to provide the guardrails to ensure that the solutions that are delivered by the GEF remain effective in a rapidly changing and complex world. Integrated science-based actions are a core lever in the GEF partnership, and integration and collaboration across agencies have been pivotal elements of success. From an initial 3, today the GEF boasts the richness of 18 agencies. And as we look towards GEF 9, both sectoral integration and agency collaboration should become the standard across the GEF landscape. We have an opportunity to build and make multifocal, co-benefit-driven design the norm rather than the exception. We can also draw from the respective skills and strength and muscle that each agency brings to the table, be it the sector depth that some bring, be it the ability to mobilize public and private capitals that others bring, be it community and society outreach that some bring, or be it on the boots on the ground in the form of universal presence that others bring. When each agency brings its skills, client countries are better served and can select the agency or the agencies that best meet their needs. During a complex and, yes, centrifugal time, we also congratulate the GEF Secretariat, the trustee, the World Bank, and the entire GEF membership, and of course, the contributing countries, for the replenishment achieved. This was not easy, but you did it. As we fully endorse we fully endorse the criticality of blended finance. At UNEP, we see blended finance as a value chain. Capital stacking can't occur or be effective unless we set up enabling policies, incentives, taxonomies, as well as standards, regulations, and laws, incentives that will incubate feasibility and environmentally positive project pipeline, creating a predictable investment climate, turning environmental challenges into investments and development opportunities. Friends, 35 years on, and the need for the GEF has never been more important. Those visionaries in 1991 could see what this instrument could be and what it could become. Our work is far from finished. UNEP, and indeed all of the GEF implementing agencies, we all remain committed to standing shoulder to shoulder with the GEF as we safeguard the planet for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now we invite to the stage Mr. Rolf Paye, Executive Secretary of the Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm Conventions, who will speak on behalf of GEF Conventions.
Her Excellency Saida Mizigo-Yeva, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ministers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the multilateral environmental agreements, particularly those of which GEF serves as the financial mechanism. We often describe the GEF as a funder, but in truth, it is far more than that. The GEF is a financial catalyst, a powerhouse of innovation, a mechanism that turns commitments into action and ambition into measurable impact. We have indeed seen this catalytic power very clearly. Under the 7th replenishment, the GEF mobilized over $47 billion in co-financing, nearly 10 times what traditional donors have contributed. And just yesterday in Uzbekistan, here in Samarkand, I witnessed a powerful example, a $4.5 million GEF project to be implemented by UNDP to eliminate persistent organic pollutants in Uzbekistan, but supported by an extraordinary contribution of US $41 million in co-financing from the government of Uzbekistan. So I ask you, who are the donors to the GEF? The answer to me is very simple. All of you. Every country that invests in its environment, every ministry that aligns its national policy with global MEA commitments, every community that implements solutions on the ground are all donors to the Global Environment Facility. The GEF is our shared financial mechanism, and through its constituency system, it ensures that what parties have committed to do after intense negotiations at our Conference of the Parties, or as we call COPs, becomes real for real people and real ecosystems. This week, by endorsing $3.9 billion in the GEF 9, let us work, and I urge you, towards a final sprint of more than $100 billion. After being Executive Secretary for more than 18 Conference of the Parties, what inspires me most is that true multilateralism is not only what happens in the conference halls, it is what happens in the regions, in the shared landscapes, in the partnerships, and in the communities confronting the triple planetary crisis. And let us be honest, we do not face three crises. We face one interconnected crisis. The complexity of this crisis should not discourage us. It should motivate us to innovate, to cooperate, and to act with urgency. Uzbekistan, under the visionary leadership of President Mirziyoyev, is demonstrating this leadership. From addressing legacy hazardous waste, to expanding protected areas, restoring degraded lands and wetlands, and accelerating the transition to renewable energy, Uzbekistan shines the light on integrated environmental action. Their commitment and investment in two major COPs, as we've seen in the introductory video, the CMS and CITES, are testament to their determination to make global agreements work at home, in their region, and in every nation. Uzbekistan, although surrounded by mountains and are double landlocked, has a vision reaching far beyond its borders towards regional cooperation, global responsibility, and a shared environmental future. Their proposal to establish a Basel Regional Center here will further reinforce this determination. As we gather for the 8th GEF Assembly, the MEAs are united by one fundamental reality. No country is implementing one environmental agreement at a time. On the front lines, biodiversity loss, climate change, land degradation, glacial retreat, sea level rise, and pollution are indeed not separate issues. They are overlapping pressures on the same landscapes, the same economies, and the same communities. Parties keep calling for integrated solutions, breaking silos to design interventions that restore nature while addressing climate, land, degradation, and pollution together. Pollution, the invisible threat that countries the invisible thread that connects so many challenges, affects pollinators, fertility in species, the water, the air, and the fisheries that billions of people rely on, for example. Indeed, the Global Biodiversity Framework, the Global Framework on Chemicals, the Paris Agreement, and the Land Degradation Neutrality Targets all reflect this integrated vision. But we must go further. GEF 9 aligns perfectly with this drive, and the adoption of its new portfolio is a powerful signal of global commitment. The fine print is clear. Traditional grant financing is not sustainable nor optimal. Now, this financing gap remains real. So does the opportunity to innovate, to tap into and unlock the US $2 trillion renewable energy market, the US $6 trillion chemicals market, the US $9 trillion food market, among others. Moving into non-grant instruments is no longer optional. It is essential if we are to mobilize capital at scale that our planet demands. MEAs that embrace integration, linking nature, climate, pollution, sustainable production and consumption, and subsidy reform will be the ones that deliver the greatest impact. Mercury, persistent organic pollutants, and hazardous chemicals affect human health, ecosystems, and indeed the climate. The whole of society and whole of life cycle approaches should encompass indigenous peoples, women, children, youth, small island developing states, least development states. The new GEF guidance on integrated programming represents that major step forward, ensuring that every investment delivers multiple benefits. From the biodiversity and climate communities of practice, the message is equally clear. Transformational change requires integrated, economy-wide approaches. Countries are updating their MBSAPs and implementing their NDCs alongside food security, resilience, land restoration, and pollution methane mitigation. The 2025 NDC synthesis shows a strong shift towards cross-sectoral implementation. Across all MEAs, the call is the same: deeper cooperation, coherent financing, and mutually supportive implementation. Sound science remains essential, but so does sound financial strategy. Understanding which instruments work, how to leverage private capital, how to de-risk environmental investments, and how to ensure development finance aligns with MEA implementation must be given attention. Colleagues, let us not underestimate the power of multilateralism. Despite our different mandates and focus, we share a common purpose. We have the privilege of seeing the bigger picture. Let this GEF assembly in Samarkand turn that picture into a living, thriving, and important future for humanity and for nature. Rahmat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We now have the pleasure of inviting Dr. Claude Gascon, Interim Chief Executive Officer and Director of Strategy and Operations of the Global Environment Facility, to address the Assembly.
Your Excellency, Ms. Saida Mirziyoyeva, Head of the Presidential Administration of Uzbekistan. Distinguished ministers, excellencies, council members, colleagues and friends, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. It is my great pleasure and honor to again welcome you all to the 8th GEF Assembly. Your Excellency, on behalf of the entire GEF family, I once again extend our deepest gratitude to you, to your government, and to the people of Uzbekistan for hosting us in this remarkable setting and for the generous hospitality you have shown to us all. It is wonderful news to learn that Uzbekistan will become and has become a donor to the GEF, and we deeply thank you for your contribution. We know that these are challenging fiscal times, and this is a remarkable demonstration of confidence in the GEF partnership and in its mission. More than this, as a GEF recipient country, you directly experience the on-the-ground impact of GEF programming. So your pledge represents a testimony to our collective work. I also wish to recognize the important environmental progress Uzbekistan has achieved under your government's leadership. First, the vast tree planting efforts in Yashil Makon initiative and the reforestation of the dried seabed of the Aral Sea to water-saving measures, support to green energy, and new clean air initiatives across Central Asia. These efforts show what is possible when leadership is matched with action. The GEF Assembly comes at a defining moment in time, not only for the GEF, but for people everywhere who are looking for hope, leadership, and action in the face of growing environmental challenges. The GEF Assembly is the highest governing body of the GEF and happens only once every 4 years, bringing together all of you, government officials, environmental leaders, policymakers, civil society, indigenous peoples, the private sector, women and youth from around the world. It is deeply meaningful that we are convening the GEF Assembly in this historic, beautiful city of Samarkand. The Silk Road was an ancient network of interconnected trade routes that linked the world. And Samarkand is known as the jewel of the Silk Road because for centuries it stood at the crossroads of civilizations, a place where people, ideas, knowledge, and commerce converged and flowed to solve the complex challenges of the time. The parallels are poetic. Today we face environmental challenges that call for this same spirit. This gathering of the GEF Assembly represents a unique international convergence of interconnections of people, ideas, knowledge, and finance as we persevere on the road to 2030, and indeed on the road to a healthier, more secure, and more hopeful future for all. So being here in Samarkand, in addition to being awe-inspiring and breathtaking, is also deeply symbolic. We have ahead of us 2 days of rich discussions and events. All of these discussions will converge through different angles on what is needed to reach the last sprint towards 2030. How can we leverage and mobilize and multiply shrinking ODA to accelerate progress? How can we achieve the needed transformation of systems, of institutions, societies, and of mindsets? What are the partnerships and relationships that will foster these transformations? And how can the GEF innovate and indeed lead the way forward within this ecosystem of policies, practices, and politics? The GEF Assembly also marks the conclusion of the negotiations of the 9th replenishment under the GEF Trust Fund, which has just been approved by GEF Council and by the Assembly. The successful GEF 9 replenishment represents a powerful vote of confidence and a renewed faith in international cooperation. The simple but powerful truth that when people come together, we can achieve more than any country can achieve alone. Looking at all of you here today, I'm overwhelmed with hope and with confidence that together we will continue to protect the global environment and build a healthier, more secure, and healthy planet for all. The GEF Assembly reminds us of the power of coming together in unity when we choose partnership, progress, and possibility. Here in beautiful Samarkand, let us seize the moment together with courage, with solidarity, with respect for those who came before us, and with determination to leave a better world for those who will come after. Kata Ramat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to turn your attention to the theatrical performance Mother Earth. A reminder of our shared responsibility to protect the Earth for future generations.
I, the earth, hereby declare the opening of a trial against humanity for its indifference, greed, and destructive actions that have driven the planet's climate, nature, and living world to a dangerous threshold.
I will present the facts that have led to the following consequences. Global temperatures have reached approximately 1.55 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Air pollution causes approximately 4.2 million premature deaths every year. around 25 million tons of plastic waste and aquatic ecosystems annually. 40% of the planet's land has already been degraded, affecting more than 3 billion people and undermining food security, water resources, biodiversity, and ecosystem resilience. Around 1 million species of animals and plants are under threat of extinction.
Who will be held accountable for these wrongs on behalf of humanity?
I will answer on behalf of humanity. I will. Mother Earth, we will change. I promise. We will change. Please, please, don't let us down. We promised the Earth we would become better. Please, please.
Distinguished guests, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the opening ceremony of the 8th GEF Assembly. On behalf of the organizers, we would like to extend our sincere gratitude for your presence and participation. We wish you a successful and fruitful assembly.